If you're thinking about moving to the Palm Beaches, you're probably wondering, what is it like to actually live there, right? You can watch things on television and you can watch different, videos, but take it from me, a Floridian. I have seen it all, and I'm going to go over the top things you need to know about living in Florida. I'm just going to start out with the number one thing you probably want to get used to in living in Florida, if you're maybe not from this area, is the weather, right? I was born and raised here. I'm going to just be honest with you. There's no amount of getting used to humidity that really feels comfortable. So I'm going to give you a tip. If you've never been to Florida, come visit and maybe check us out like say June, July, and August. And if you think,
hey, it's not that bad,
then you're going to be good to go here in Florida. I wouldn't recommend coming in January when, there's just blue skies and 70 degrees outside. You're going to be like, this is amazing. You got to come when it's a little bit more humid out and see how you feel about it. So on top of that is the aspect of hurricanes, right? So our hurricane season is half the year, and you're probably maybe not even aware of that. So our hurricane season runs from June 1st all the way to November 30th. Yes, after Thanksgiving, we're still in hurricane season. However, the good thing to know about that is there's actually a peak hurricane season time, which is about August to September, right? So we do see hurricanes outside of that, but really that's kind of like our time that we all freak out or hunker down, or however you want to look at it, and kind of get prepared for if there's going to be hurricanes, what are we looking at? The good thing to note about that is there's a lot of preparation time. Well, that also can be good and bad, depending on your level of worrying, right? Because they really do prepare you about, over a week and a half, hey, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
Joe! Bill! It's coming! It's headed right for us! It's already here.
But the truth is that a lot of times they're diverting. It's all based off of like wind patterns and, oscillations and El Nino and La Nina. Those all come into effect, right? So just because it looks like it's a dead hit, 2 days out, it could be a completely different story. So you have time. The point is to prepare. Most homes now, just to give context, all brand new construction homes is pretty much built with hurricane impact windows, right? I will say, from a perspective as a homeowner, the unfortunate part about putting new impact windows into your home oftentimes does not actually save you money on your insurance. So you're fine just having normal shutters. Don't worry about if you don't want to spend $40,000 to $50,000 on new impact windows to protect yourself. Just having hurricane shutters is enough. And your insurance costs often don't adjust. The next cool thing I want to mention is just the wildlife here in Florida. I mean, there's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't see a hawk, these iguanas taking over our lakes, birds, and just, yes, alligators. My home is on a lake, and there's been a baby alligator, 6 foot, floating around, which obviously has a mom and a dad, so I don't know where they are at, but there's wildlife everywhere. And I want to make mention too, there are so many parks here in Florida. It is unbelievable. And I'm not just talking about state parks that you can travel to, like parks that are just small little encapsulated areas where you can see beautiful marsh and wetlands, which is all natural Florida. And it's very, very cool. So that's one of those really fun, nice things about being a Floridian here, is that you kind of get to be a tourist and go to all of those parks all the time, which is really nice when you have kids and they can see different elements of the state of Florida that's natural. There's a lot of diversity here in Florida. At one point in time, I think Florida was seen as only where, the older people come to retire. But even though that might still be true, there's so much diversity. And it's kind of funny because I feel like really Florida could be two states. If you're a Floridian, you're like, yes, I understand. We really could have a North Florida to South Florida. South Florida will take Orlando. I'm just going to say that right now, but it's kind of like two different worlds. So North Florida is kind of more of, I would say it lends its hand to more country style. They're more connected to the South, even though we're further south. It's funny. But I would say we're more subtropical down here in the Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami regions, which is diversity of cultures and diversity of food and a diversity of just a lot of different people, which is awesome, right? It's really great to see so many different cultures and food and places to go that are thriving here in South Florida. Something that is often on my topic of conversation on these videos that you will have to get used to is the lack of public transportation, right? So there really isn't any in Florida, and at least my whole life that I've been here, we do have something called a Palm Tran, which is a bus. We do have Tri-Rail, that is, you know, a train, but really like a mainstream transportation, we don't really have. One thing to point out is the biggest impact that we've had to our area of transportation is a Brightline. Brightline is been amazing expansion of transportation, which opened up originally just in West Palm to Miami and now is flourishing in Boca Raton, Aventura, now Orlando. It's also going to expand into Tampa, and this changes everything. So just imagine if you've never been to Florida as a tourist or even as a local, doesn't matter. I mean, you could have a vacation where you start in Orlando, you're going to the Disney parks, you can go to West Palm, experience the island of Palm Beach, you can go down to Miami, you can visit South Beach. I mean, this is really all a trek you could make, and you wouldn't even need a car. You could just go on the Brightline, you take an Uber to where you go, and you enjoy. Hot tip, I will recommend, if you can, to opt for the higher price ticket on Brightline. Only reason I say that is because drinks and different food items are included. So, you know, you just imagine you want one bottle of water, you want one little snack, you have to pay for that a la carte if you have the lower price ticket, but the higher price ticket also opens it up to like a lounge area that you're allowed to hang out and have some drinks and food before. And then also while you're on the train, it's unlimited. So if you want 5 diet sodas, have 5 diet sodas. It's really great. Obviously, the cost of living has gone up substantially here, and not just the cost of living, something to consider. And I often have to deal with this with, you know, clients that have not lived in here in Florida. I always like to let you know about the price of insurance. Insurance has really gone up a lot here. I would say in the past 3 years, about 3 times has gone up. So you have to consider that into the price of your home. Also, in addition to the cost of living, is HOA. So homeowners associations are rampant here in Florida. Almost every neighborhood has one. It's pretty rare to see a neighborhood without one, more so you see them with. And with that being said, there's an HOA cost that can be anywhere from $100 to $500 a month, insurance costs, right? So those are all the factors just to consider when you are here in Florida, is that the price of homes have gone up, but these other additional costs are still part of living here, which makes, you know, something you have to just put into consideration into your budget. And of course, just seeing the influx of the amount of diverse food and different things that have come into the area, for me, is very exciting, right? Because when I'm, you know, selling a home to somebody that's living here, specifically that's never been here, I like to really show what's your life going to be like, right? It's important to love the house you're in, but what's it going to be like the moment you step out your front door and you have to go down the street? You know, how far are the supermarkets? How far is the restaurant? How far is the school? What is your everyday going to look like? And so I love selling that lifestyle aspect when people are moving to Florida to showcase whatever city they're in, the fun things that they're gonna do and the lifestyle that they are gonna have when they move to this area. So on that vein, if you are thinking about moving to Palm Beach County and you have questions or you wanna know about the market, you can always give me a call, or you can just subscribe to this channel to learn more about living in the Palm Beaches.